So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. Ladies and gentlemen, before I get into the watch show, I want to ask all of you a big favor to please don't forget to subscribe to our channel and like the video. We don't ask too much from you guys, so if you can give us a hand with that, that'll help us to continue, bringing real content to all of you out there. All right, guys? Ladies and gentlemen, the first thing I want to tell you guys is that the price, as you know, I'm a big fan of gold, and I believe that I will have to tell you every time I make a live stream what's happening with the gold. And the price of gold today is at $3,342 an ounce. So don't forget to take a good look see at that, and also um, this new crypto money, or whatever you call it, coin, is still moving very well, and we're talking about that Bitcoin is doing real well. Those three trifecta owners of the world, they're buying all the Bitcoin they can get their hands on. But ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk to you about a subject that I have known for some time, and it's been really, you know I've had it in the back of my head for a while, and I thought today I should share with this subject with you guys today. And we're not talking about today. We're not talking about that Rolex conspiracy theory out of China. The Rolex is working in collaboration with the Chinese, making watches, making parts, and all that good stuff. It's totally different. We're going to be talking about today, ladies and gentlemen, about no other than the Rolex Certified Pre-Owned Program. That's right, the CPO. We're going to be talking about that. And, I know you guys know that Rolex, when they first introduced this to you guys, they said that, they were going to, the first 3 years of the sale of a watch, that's what they want, they want them pretty new, those watches. I don't know if you guys know this, but now Rolex, if you guys don't don't know this, you guys are gonna know it today. I've had this, pretty much in you know, the hush hush, because I wanted to see if one of your those favorite watch channels that you guys look at will talk about it, but they won't, and neither will Rolex. Rolex never releases and never talks about anything that's happening in their company, and that's how they are, and this is why we have people that do a lot of research regarding Rolex, and the way they behave out there with their customers. Like myself, I do videos on that, but then there are other platforms, some real big heavy hitters that really do some heavy work. If you think that what I do, I do something unbelievable, that I'm in a different galaxy where I'm here, right here, I'm right here, and then there's people that are all the way up there, I mean, if it wasn't for these people, what they do, for these vintage collectors, they would be upside down. But this gentleman has done some unbelievable work. I do not know. I do not know. And if you do know it, hey man, say that you know it already, and that's good. I'm happy. But if you guys don't know it, Rolex is also in the certified pre-owned program on vintage watches. I repeat, vintage watches. Rolex Daytona Paul Newman, 6240. You know, they're into that now. They're not working no more with just 3-year-old watches, or newer. Now they're working with vintage watches. That's right. And I need to tell you this because you guys, you know, are maybe thinking like I'm thinking. I don't agree with nothing of the CPO program. I don't at all. I dislike it. I don't like it. I voice it out. I have made several videos regarding the subject on what's happening with those watches, what they do with guarantee cards, and all that good stuff. Listen, guys, what I'm talking about today, I'm talking about something that's very, very, very important. I mean, probably one of the most important things you should have in your drawer of watches. Knowledge that you should have, because this is big. What's happening is big, and I tell you, it's just the beginning. We're not talking about that conspiracy Rolex theory out of over there of that country, China, that you guys don't like to talk about. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about the CPO Rolex program. And ladies and gentlemen, there's a big scandal. Again, let that sink in. There is a big scandal happening at this moment with Rolex. Nobody's talking about it. Nobody whatsoever. Do I believe at this moment that what's happening right now with Rolex, with that situation that's going on, their 5th week of that Rolex conspiracy theory? Yes, I believe that this is, at this moment, I believe that this is a distraction they are doing on all of us so we don't notice what's happening with the Rolex CPO program. Something big is happening that you guys don't know. Since I can see that nobody has posted anything there that they know, that's fine, even better. To you 11, you should feel privileged that you're gonna hear this. For you 13, you should feel privileged that you're gonna hear what you're gonna hear today. Because nobody's talking about this. And this is bigger than what I think. The first thing I'm gonna tell you is the Rolex CPO program is cashing in billions of dollars in sales, millions, and hundreds of millions of dollars in selling CPO program watches. That's right. It's unbelievable, but it is true. I mean, I don't like it, but I have to tell you the truth. They're selling so much watches that it is incredible. They have really done something well. And they have done so well that I told you that they're getting involved. No, not that they're getting involved, that they are involved in Rolex vintage watches. Vintage Daytonas, beautiful Paul Newman Daytona watches with those beautiful dials. But things are happening. Something big happened, something really big happened, and nobody has said a single word. That's right. Rolex, Rolex was caught restoring fake vintage watches. Different parts, casing, dials, prints on the dials. They were caught. They were caught by a gentleman that does a hard job of making these people honest. And he's caught them, with watches that they are not correct. But the big problem is that Rolex, hear me out, guys, because this story is getting better. And nobody else is saying this. They're going to keep on talking about, China watches, China Rolex watches. I think the real subject here is what I'm talking about. The real, where all the big money is at, and that is in the CPO Rolex watch program. And they got caught. They got caught doing that. You have so-called experts that work for Rolex, and they are certifying that watches that they're coming in, to get certified with fake casing, fake dials, fake prints are going on. You guys don't know about this, but you're hearing it today. I feel bad for the ones who are missing this live. They could be learning something. But I feel that I should be doing this for you guys, and I'm gonna talk to you. I'm gonna go through the whole thing so you understand what's happening out there. There's a gentleman that he works very hard looking for vintage watches which are not for real, which are fugazis, which are basically they call them, cobbled, they're cobbled together. If you don't understand what the word cobbled is, you just Google it, right, guys? I don't have a lot of time to explain to you what cobbled is, but I'll make it simple for you guys. Cobbled is basically a Frankenstein watch, just material laying around and putting it together quickly, and that's it. There is the watch. So they're called that cobbled. They're being cobbled together. And a gentleman was in Zurich. He was in Zurich, and he was looking at different websites of these Rolex ADs that carry the CPO program, and he found a watch there. He found a Rolex stainless steel Sea Dweller, double red, double red from 1975. Unbelievable watch, unbelievable. It's the reference number of that watch is the 1665/0. And they're asking for this watch somewhere 52,800 Swiss francs. And this gentleman that does all this hard work, like the hard work that I do, he called out this Rolex AD authorized dealer, which is also CPO program, and he told them that the dial that watch had was a fake dial. And the gentleman, he was talking to the owner, could not believe what he was telling him. The dealer could not believe that he was telling him that the dial, that beautiful Rolex stainless steel Sea Dweller double red was fake. He couldn't believe it. He was in total awe. So what he did was he really believed this person that was telling him that. He ran and he took out the watch that he had on his website. He took it out. He took out Sea Dweller, double red. Unbelievable. 1665. He took it out running, took it out. And then he called him up. They had a conversation and they spoke. And he told them, he says, I was told that this watch had been serviced and certified by no other than Rolex of Geneva, And he told him, no, that's a fake dial. I'm going to show you so you can see, all these things. I'm going to make later on another video on this so you can see the whole pictures. But meanwhile, let me show you this so you know what we're talking about. So you know what watch we're talking about, because a lot of you like to know what watches we're talking about. We're talking about this watch right here. The Sea Dweller. You can see it. There it is. You can see the fake in one side and you can see the authentic in the other. This is the watch that, he caught. There was the Fugazi dial. It wasn't the right one. And there it is. So, but I'm going to go back because you guys want to see more still. And I'm going to show you something. The CPO program that was selling this watch. Then he pulled it out. He pulled it out of his website because, they told him the watch was fake. There's the watch right there. You see it? Here in this channel, we don't play Mickey Mouse. This is what it is. We show it to you so you know what's happening. And that's the watch that he called out that dealer that he was selling. This is a Rolex authorized dealer, ladies and gentlemen. This is not a Muppet Boiler Room secondary grade watch market dealer. This is an authorized Rolex dealer that has the CPO program, where those watches are all certified by their Rolex experts that work in Geneva. But these experts are saying that some of these watches that have fake casing, fake dials, fake bezels are for real, And they're sent back to all these CPO Rolex dealers to be sold to you people out there, And people buy these watches because, some of them have the green guarantee card, plus they get the white guarantee card, certified that this watch has passed all the inspections and so and so and so. But this has been a hush so big because I'm telling you, the money that these people are making, where truth is truth, you have to say it. No matter if you don't agree with it or not, you have to say the truth. That's what life is. And I must tell you that they are making so much money with the CPO program that it is disgusting. And this is why I believe that this is some kind of, that Rolex China distraction to distract all of us from not even looking at the CPO program. But you guys are lucky. You guys have me. You guys have me that I'm talking about it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let me explain to you what's the matter with that, with the CPO program. When you go to one of those Rolex CPO program ADs to buy one of those watches that have been, certified and guaranteed as the real McCoy, let me give you an example. You go there to buy from them. This watch is used, but it has a guarantee card, a white guarantee card, plus the green card. And you buy there a yellow gold Rolex Daytona with a green dial, the John Mayer, the guitar guy. And you buy that watch from them, you're buying it. It has all the bells and whistles. But the CPO program left something out. Left something out. They didn't tell you that the dial that you have is a service dial, a replacement dial. In other words, when the watch was serviced, the dial that watch had, it was swapped. It was swapped to a service replacement dial. You follow what I'm trying to say? What I'm trying to tell you is something so big that can make you the smartest, watch collector in your group. It can make you the smartest one, you know? So when they swap that dial, you're taking out the originality of that watch. Why? Because you want, the same amount of money they're selling you that $100,000 John Mayer Rolex Daytona with the green dial, with the Triton, Triton luminescent, luminescent. It's the original thing. What happens with the luminescent, as time goes by, that gradually, fades away. And that's what makes that Rolex John Mayer more desirable. The luminescent, it dies out with time. And people want that. The collectors want that. You understand what I'm trying to say? So what happens is they swap that and they put you a service dial, It's what it is, and people don't know that, and they pay, and you're getting, they're not writing it down. What you're getting here, the original dial from this watch was swapped to a service dial, and people don't know that, and they're buying these watches, they're buying submariners, they're buying sea dwellers, they're buying all different kind of watches with dials that have been swapped from the real thing. So all that patina that it had is gone. You're getting a replacement dial. That watch, now the collectors are looking at it, and they know, when they look at it, they know that's a brand new dial that it has on. It's not the original dial that it came in 1980. The same thing also with a Rolex, a Rolex stainless steel from the 90s. They get service, they take off that dial, with that beautiful color in the dial, with the patina, and they put a service dial on that. And people are getting flim flam. They're getting flim flam. I told you at the beginning of this video that we were not talking about the China situation with Rolex. And I told you that also Rolex was caught red-handed. You know, Rolex Geneva, not Rolex in downtown. No, 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 Rolex Geneva. They were caught restoring fake vintage watches with the casing, with the dial, with the hand stack, and they're saying and they're approving it that the watch is the real thing. You guys need to know this because you might be thinking, yes, I already talked to you about, you know, those dials being swapped, you know, a service dial to a replacement dial, you know, and it's what you want in those watches. You want the tritium, you know, with the luminescent, the original luminescent. You want that dial. You don't want that one. So they're taking every single dial out of those vintage watches that they are selling to you guys out there. They're selling to you guys. Any watch coming, get it out. Put a new one in. But it's the real thing. It's the real thing. Rolex can do whatever they want. You know, it's the real thing. So going back to that fake watch that was being restored by Rolex Geneva, they give it a green card. They give it a white card. And the watch that you have is cabal, you know, it's cabal together. It's cabal together. It's a Frankenstein. It's a Frankenstein. Bobby, come on. I don't want to make this a joke today. You know, I don't want to make it a joke. It's put together. It's a Frankenstein. It's a Frankenstein watch. And they have the power. If I have the green card, if I have the white card, this is the real thing. But what you have is a China special. What you have is a China special. It's not a real casing. It's not a real dial. Listen and learn. Not a real casing, not a real dial, not a real hand stack. Probably the only thing it has probably is the movement. And the person that I know is not even sure of that. So basically, they're giving watches out there to these so-called experts in Geneva to certify that watch to guarantee that it's 100%, and it's not, because they've been pinched. They've been caught. They've been caught. Now, the craziest part of all this now is this. You buy that beautiful Rolex. Again, let's go with the John Mayer again. With the John Mayer, because it's going to get worse now for you guys now. You know, it's going to get worse. And you bought that John Mayer from the CPO program. You bought it from them. And they gave you the green card. And they gave you the white card. And then you find out. And then you find out, because I'm telling you, you and me don't know all about dials and looking at dials. Some of these people don't even have to take out the dial, and they can tell you what that dial is. But they're perfect. They're perfect dials. And some of these dials, they're being put in some of these, you know, allegedly. I'm going to say now allegedly. On all these CPO program watches, on some of them, on this Rolex Daytona, you won't believe this, ladies and gentlemen. It's a dial that was probably produced in Italy. It's a dial that it was probably produced, yes, and in China. It was probably produced in China. So, ladies and gentlemen, I really believe that these people have really, you know, have distracted all of us from noticing what's happening with the situation with Rolex. It's a bigger thing than what they're trying to, you know, hide. It's a bigger thing. And Rolex never addresses nothing. They don't address nothing. But I can promise you and I can assure you that Rolex is making millions and millions, if not billions of dollars, selling used slider condition material watches to you dumbskis out there. That's right. That's right. I feel like calling you dumbskis. That's right. I feel like calling you dumbskis because the only one that's bringing this to you is me. The rest won't do it. They will never do it. I'm not trying to sell you no watch, and I'm not trying to buy you no watch. I'm not trying to sell you no gear, no hoodies, no sweatshirts, no caps. I'm trying to give you knowledge. So when you go to these CPO programs, you know how to talk. I'm sure that you are a lot of you out there that have bought that CPO program. And maybe you're walking around. And the funny thing about this is nobody can tell you if you have the green card, guarantee card, and you have the certified guarantee white card from the CPO program that your watch is fake. Nobody can tell you. Even if it's the casing is from China, the bracelet is from China, the dial is from China, nobody can tell you anything. They gave it to you. They gave it to you. Listen to me. Listen to me carefully, ladies and gentlemen. There was a lady. This is painted by the name of Pablo Picasso. Pablo Picasso had a student by the name of Wilfredo Lam. Wilfredo Lam. He did one of the most beautiful art pieces ever. It's called The Jungle. If you don't know who Wilfredo Lam is, you Google it. Wilfredo Lam. And he did The Jungle. And many people, when he passed away, many people would buy his artwork, but nobody, certified it. Nobody guaranteed it. So Luz, her name is Luz Lam, had the trustee of that she could authenticate the artwork. And what happened was, if the artwork wasn't authenticated, they would stamp it. They would stamp it like it was a Fugazi watch. It was a Fugazi art piece. And Rolex, many, many, many years ago, would do the same thing. When a dial would come in to their factory to get service, and that dial, that Paul Newman, was a Fugazi, it wasn't correct, whatever it was, they would give it a triple X. It's called the kiss of death. The dial was done, it was over. Regardless, because they altered it, whatever, they did this to it, whatever, that was it. They would triple exit and they would, give it the kiss of death, and the dial was over. But those days of Rolex are over, ladies and gentlemen. They're not doing none of those things, and people are skip hopping around through life like the gentleman that bought that Rolex Submariner Hawk 40 millimeter, green ceramic bezel, green dial. He bought it for the CPO. He bought it for $30,000. He bought it for $30,000. And when he got tired of the watch, he sold it for $13,900. $30,000, $13,900. So somebody's going to have to help you out with this subject. But nobody dares to talk about this because all these people, what they care about is selling you watches. No matter how. Listen to me. If they get a Rolex watch that they can tell that the casing is from China or from Italy, wherever you want to call it from. The dial is from Italy, the dial is from China, but they have that guarantee card, green, and they have the white one. It's a real Rolex. It's a real Rolex. And that's what's happening. Rolex can make a fake Rolex a real Rolex. Rolex can take a fake Rolex and convert it into a real Rolex. Because do we really believe that these so-called experts that work for Rolex from 8 to 5 have the skills? You know how many watches are going into that factory on a daily basis to be authenticated as the real thing? You're talking about, you don't know how many pieces a watch has. But let's start with the simple ones: the bracelet, the clasp, the bezel, the dial, the hand stack, the screws. You know, that's just the basic there. And they go and then these so-called experts are saying, hey, they work from 8 to 5. Yeah, it's real. Yeah, pass it, pass it, pass it. You know what it is to get pinched and get caught passing a vintage Rolex Daytona watch, Paul Newman 6240, you know? And they put a dial there that is from 1966 to a Paul Newman when it first, you know, in the era of the 1.8 million, you know, it didn't come out until 1968, and it had a dial that was from 1966, and in that dial, that supposedly that Paul Newman dial wasn't supposed to have the big red Daytona on it under the 6 on the gauge. What they did was they plastered it and they put it there. And one of those experts from Rolex in Geneva said it's the real thing. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? You understand me? These things are happening too much already. So this is basically why I believe that this distraction that's going on, let them there distracted with the China situation while we fix this over here. Because everybody, let's say with you 26 organic watch channel subscribers, this will get away, it'll get around now. It'll get around, it'll move. It'll slowly, but it will move. Because they don't want nobody to know what's happening. They don't. Does Rolex really have the personnel to do all this? Does Rolex have the personnel? Guys, we're talking about millions and millions of watches that are being certified, guaranteed. And people, you know, we are so gullible that they give us, hey man, this gentleman, they have this watch in Zurich that I show you, the Sea Dweller. He had everything. What he had to tell that man was, that beautiful, kind man, he just had to tell him, hey man, you might say is fake dial, but I don't care. I have the guarantee white card that says that Rolex has guaranteed it, and I got the backing. And that's it. But you know what? It seemed like that AD owner was a very man with scruples and ethics. And he listened, he looked into it, and he found out that Rolex Sea Dweller that he was selling for $50,000 had a fake, dial, a fake dial. And he took it out, knowing that Rolex already said, hey, this is the real dial. So what do we have working in Rolex Geneva? We have people that they don't have the skills. They don't have the skill set to really say that this is this watch. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are giving up your watch to the Rolex, service center in Geneva, I'm going to just tell you, be very, and I mean be very, very, very careful. I just finished telling you what's happening what they're doing over there, with these watches, they are not. They're fugazis, and they're saying they're real. And you know why they're saying it's real? Because it's a lot of money, papi. Hay mucho dinero en esta jodienda. There's a lot of money involved. When there's a lot of money involved, you just. I'm saying this all allegedly, man. So you guys won't, bug out. So you guys won't bug out. Porque se van a poner como un bonche de gilipollas. But this is what's happening. How do I know? I know it. Do I have all the information? I have every single information you can imagine. Are you ready for it? I don't know if you guys have the capability to really digesting this and understanding what's going on. I believe this has all been a theater they have done to us. So you guys won't look that way. Como el caballo, like the horse. The horse that won this, the Belmont this weekend, like this. You can't look to the side. You can't see nothing. You understand me? All this is allegedly, all of it. So there won't be no problem. But it's there. It's all there. But it's all there. What you guys need to do is you need to Google it. You Google it. You Google it. I do this for free for you guys. And even me doing it for free, I still have a hard time for you guys to give me a thumbs up. Even for free. El que nace pa martillo, del cielo le caen los clavos. And that's how it is. It's a big business, papi. It's a big business. And they don't care about me and you. We're nothing. So the only thing that we have left is people like myself, like that gentleman that's doing all the leg walking all over the world. Quitándole la careta, taking off the mask on everybody. Taking off the mask on everybody out there. Because we can't. We can't with them. Thank you very much, Mr. P, for that super chat. Thank you very much. We can't do nothing about it. We can't do nothing about it. It's just us against them. I'm telling you what it is, and I'm using the word allegedly, but do your own research. Do your own research and look into it. What do you guys want to keep on hearing? You guys want to keep on hearing this new AP came out. This new Omega came out with the most beautiful strap in the world. This Patek Philippe, this, that. You guys don't want to hear what's really happening out there, papi. We've all been baked, baked, like a cake in an oven. Estamos cocinados. Estamos jodidos. Estamos jodidos, papi. What I'm telling you right now is something so big because it doesn't go away. It doesn't go away. And I have come to the conclusion, putting the dots together, dude, I think this is a distraction. The same distraction that the government does at us. They pass a law, Christmas Eve. You understand me? They pass a law the day before Thanksgiving, and you guys are all happy eating chicken legs and turkey legs and all that good stuff. It's the same thing with these people. They don't care. Don't say a word about nothing. Let this guy do this. Let them keep on talking about. It's the whole day. If you look at YouTube on the watch, it's the whole day talking about China. China. But then there's something else in another pipeline which is going on, and nobody knows. And nobody knows. And nobody can know because that's where the billions are at. The billions. To them right now, their number one business is the CPO. And let me tell you, because I'm a kind of man that I thought that this was not going to work. It was not going to work. But I'm a man that I have ethics myself. It's working like a charm for them. It's working like a charm. They are taking everybody's 401k, money market account, bonds, whatever it is, they're taking everybody's penny away. I I was talking with somebody that knows a little deeper than me. He says, you won't believe what these people are selling. You don't believe what these ADs are living off the CPO program. These ADs are living off the CPO program. Listen to me. They don't even care selling you a new watch because the winnings on selling a CPO program are brutal. Are brutal. You just give it up. They take it over there to Geneva. They approve it. They send it to you. The watch is real. No, but I saw that the dial looks like it's from China. The watch is for real. No, but the casing doesn't look right. It doesn't have, the watch is real. Listen, don't ask me no more. We already sent you the guarantee card. That's a real watch. And that's it. I mean, we're doomed, man. We're doomed. We're doomed. We are doomed. There's so much happening that is scary. It really is scary. I mean, I'm telling you, years ago, if you did not hear me, years ago, when you were sent a dial to the Rolex and it was altered, the dial, man, they didn't even ask you. They would put a triple X on the back of the dial, and it was the kiss of death for that dial. It was the kiss of death. But that's not happening no more. It's already been proven, allegedly. It has been proven already that Rolex is using parts from different parts of the world to approve those watches. I'm telling you, listen to me. If you want to know who this person is, I'm going to have to tell you. So it won't be no more allegedly. Look into Paris Scope. Paris Scope. This man is unbelievable. Perez Scope. He's unbelievable. What he is doing to collectors is the biggest favor you can ever imagine. I mean, he's doing something unbelievable. If it wasn't for him, man, people will be getting burned and burned and burned and burned and burned, burned. What they're selling out there, this is why. This is why the vintage watch market is so lucrative. It's so much money involved. Money is being greased up by everybody. By everybody. It's being greased up. I mean, you don't know if somebody knows somebody in Rolex Geneva, that's approving these watches. You don't know. I'm telling you, they approved the Rolex Daytona Cosmograph. Beautiful. They approved, and they put their stamp under the 6 o'clock gauge, Daytona in red. And they were called out. And these people, like I keep on telling you always, these people wear the crown. These people do. Listen to me. I don't like to use foul language, so I'll say it this way. These people do what the frog they want. They do what the frog they want. Here's your guarantee card. Don't tell me that's a Chinese dial. Don't tell me that's an Italian dial. Don't tell me the casing is from here. Here's the card. They can make a fake watch or real watch. And that's what's happening at this moment, ladies and gentlemen. It's a scary thing, ladies and gentlemen. Today, I've dropped many different types of knowledge to you guys. And today, I don't even feel like smiling and making jokes about it because it's pretty frogged up if you ask me, man. The world, the masses, we're a bunch of possum kickers. We're a bunch of can kickers. You know, when you were a kid, you know, and you were walking around your neighborhood and you saw a Pepsi Cola can, or you saw a Budweiser can, and you started kicking it from one end of the block to the other block. That's what you guys are. You're kicking cans around. You guys are kicking cans while this is happening. What's happening right now, nobody's talking about it. Están hablando mierda. They're talking shit when they should be addressing this to you people, to the consumers, what's happening. Be aware of this. Be aware. Though all those dials that you're buying from the CPO program, they're swapped. They're service dials. That's what you're getting. But they're not telling you. They're not writing it down. They're not telling you, Mr. Nieves, this dial that you're buying from this watch is a replacement dial. It's a replacement service dial. That John Mayer you have, it's a real John Mayer, you know, all that good stuff, but it has a replacement dial, has a service dial. And what the collectors want, they want something that's aging for real. They don't want that. They don't want that. Every single, for all of you, every watch, supposedly, allegedly, every watch that's getting service and getting a guarantee card from the CPO program is going to get a service dial. That's what it is. But nobody ever told you that. There's always somebody out there watching and looking. There's always somebody out there always watching and looking. I'm not laughing today. I'm telling you something that's so truthful that is scary. And then we've been told for the last 5 weeks, hey, something is happening over there in China with Rolex. Well, to be honest, my personal opinion, this is all a distraction for us to look this way on the China situation instead of looking at this way at the CPO situation. But we can't. Somos como los caballos, like the horses. We're like this. Don't look that way. You can't see nothing that way. You gotta look that way. And that's how they have us. Lo tienen dormido, papi. There's nobody. I challenge any channel. I challenge any live streamer to do a topic of this one. They will probably do it better than me. No. I know they will do it better than me. But I was the first to do it. I'm the first to do it. I am the first to do it. Yes, they are. They're buying all Bitcoin, the trifecta. But this is something that you guys need to know and tell your friend. I saw in the CPO program, I saw a beautiful watch and I want it. I want that Rolex GMT Money Green 50th anniversary. Bobby, it'll be a service dial, and you're not going to get the dial with the luminous. With the luminous, you know, the illumination. People want that. They want the illumination to go away, the patina, you know, all this. And these people, get it out. Get it out. Get it out. You guys are all being flim-flammed. You guys are all being fleeced. Nobody, and all these people are all greased up. They're all these people that have some kind of a channel, they are all being greased up with a free strap, with a free watch. What do I get free? What do I get free? You know what I get free? I ask always at the beginning of the show, if you want to help us out, give us a thumbs up or subscribe to the channel. You know, that's what I ask every time. What do those guys get? Those guys get the glory. And that's fine. They get the glory, but I get the health. You know, I get the health. Stay with the glory. Keep on with the glory. What I'm dropping here today is probably one of the biggest things I have ever said. One of the biggest things I have ever said. And that gentleman, he's the one that broke it. He said he broke it out. And they know it. They know because he's wrote to Rolex. He's wrote to them, you know, emails, everything. They know who he is. And they know that this smart man got him. They got him. Instead of talking to him, sitting him down, but they don't want to because they're the owners. They hang out with the owners of the world. They hang out. They hang out with the DuPonts. They hang out with JP Morgan, BlackRocks, State Street, Vanguard. You understand me? They hang out with these people. And this month is Bohemian Grove. These people do whatever they want. That is not a conspiracy theory, what I just said. That is for real. Because you guys probably might be thinking, I already said the conspiracy theory of the China with Rolex watches. To me, that's a conspiracy theory. That was just a distraction to make us look that way. That's it. You understand me? It's what it is. You know, you got these people around there, you know, talking about the watch that I bought, talking about a strap that I bought, talking this. Bobby, talk about this. You know, educate your subscribers with this. Teach them with this. I'm taking the B train to downtown. I'm taking the C because I'm going to go see the subway train jumper. Come on, guys. Papi, la situación está jodida. La situación está jodida. La situación está jodida. This is another one. This video here is for your library. So when you want to go back and look at it, you look at it. You look at it. You guys cannot continue skip hopping around through life. You guys have to understand what's happening. We're a bunch of slaves. We are a bunch of obedient slaves. That we wake up every day and we do the same thing every day. And we go back to bed the same way. You understand me? You guys cannot continue like that. You guys cannot. It's awful what's going on. Listen to me. And I thought I will never say this. You're better off buying a Casio watch at this moment than buying one of those watches. You're better off. You're better off. I was told just like that, hey, Nieves, you're better off buying one of those watches. You know, you guys are just being crumb bums. All of you being crumb bums. All of you being possum kickers, cow tippers, spoof balls. You know, we've been fleeced. We've been fleeced for too long. We've been fleeced for too long, man. And I knew about this. I said, man, you know what? Life is weird. Maybe they'll never hear this. And the crazy thing is that I see the comments to see if anybody, not one single person knows about this. Listen to me before I stop talking about this. To be a real watch collector, to be a real watch collector, you must know all about this before. Know that I collect watches, that I got a grail, No comas mierda. No comas mierda, no seas un sapo. Comas mierda. No comas mierda. No comas mierda. Before you say you are a watch collector, I see people, I'm a watch collector. So what do you know what's happening in the watch world? They don't know nothing. You're not a watch collector. Being a watch collector, you have to know all these things. It's unbelievable. I had to smile. Being a watch collector, you have to know all these things. You have to know what's happening. You can't be looking at, you really think that Deputy Boxing Black Eyes is going to talk to you about this? Do you really think that the Warriors Fat Bastard is going to talk to you about this? Do you think the fake Italian, flat top, monkey eyebrows is going to talk to you about this? When he's sipping on a good Macallan, you know, on your children's dime? You know, I can drink my Macallan on my dime, not on your dime. You know? You think the hungry hippo, Mr. Magoo, is going to talk to you about this? Maybe now that I'm talking about it, hey, we got to talk about this. This guy again beat us, bro. This guy beat us again. But I'm doing it. I'm doing it because I believe I have to do it. Because I believe that I have to. Because none of these people that you people, I'm sorry to say this, the people that you guys worship, you know, that you see them and you see them in the street and you treat them like rock stars. Get the frog out of here. Get the frog out of here. It's wrong. It's wrong. I challenge any of them to make a video like this one. Make it better than me. I'm the first, but make it better than me. And say, man, that guy, Juan Felipe Nieves, nobody. And you guys really believe that I'm going to keep on being here. Yeah, I'm going to be here. Let me tell you, we have 8,400, almost 8,400 organic watch channel subscribers. Not bots, not bot robots, real ones who have been like the goalie, like the hockey goalie, but we're there. And the only thing that we do for you guys is give you real knowledge. Real knowledge. If they would open the gates on this platform, papi, I'll be on Netflix. If they would open the platforms, I'll be on Netflix. Not with Kino alone, me. Frog Kino, frogging. That's how I feel. That's how I feel. That's how I feel. And it's sad. Well, it's been a Rolex. It's been a Rolex China distraction. And I opened the can of worms. You know, I did. I said, frog him. Frog him right now. He knows when I say that, he knows what I mean. He knows that I feel passion right now, you know. And it's sad. It's the truth, you know. It's the truth. You guys won't be told about this, but you found out today. Those CPO watches you buying, they have to get service. They have to get approved by many different sections. And they caught a watch, a Daytona Rolex watch, with everything was fake in that vintage watch. Everything was fake in that vintage watch. Thank you very much, Wicked, for that super chat. I really appreciate that. It makes me keep on going. It makes me keep on going. Thank you very much. And I'm telling you this because you guys, if I don't tell you, who's going to tell you? They're going to keep on taking off your socks off from your shoes without taking off your shoes. They will continue taking off your socks off without taking off your shoes. Listen to me, ladies and gentlemen. To win a war here, and it's sad to say this, to win a war, if you don't fight back, you're gonna stay the way you are. And some people know that already. You know, people from the world, they know that listen, if we stay here, we're just gonna be stuck here. So, you know, we're gonna have to fight. I'm gonna say an example. I'm gonna talk about my Latin people. You know, Cuba's been there for I don't know how many years, right? I don't know, 60 years, 65 years with the same regime, right? But they've never fought. And in life, you have to fight. It's the only way it is. I don't want to use the words what happens when you fight in a war, but you have to fight. So what I'm trying to tell you is you people need to fight. I cannot continue fighting for you guys if you don't fight. I cannot continue because it's sad. These people are sitting down, so don't say a word about this, man. Don't talk about that. You know what it is that Rolex is giving guarantee cards on fake Fugazi watches? I kept on telling you, giving you subliminal messages. You don't understand the millions of people that are walking around with Fugazi watches. It's what it is. It's a cash cow. You know, it's a cash cow. It's a cash cow. Money just coming in, man. Money just coming in. It's a sad truth. I mean, I'll leave you guys with that anecdola, you know. I'll leave you guys con esa anecdola. I'm going to give you a watch market update. I have a couple of organic watch channel subscribers who have asked me for these watches, so I will be giving them a watch market update on that. Okay, guys? Anyway, our first watch is an AP Royal Oak White Gold. You know, the world's latest release from AP. Listen up and learn. 41 millimeter chrono, you know, special edition. Reference number 26240. It has a blue ombre dial. And ladies and gentlemen, this price is upon request. Upon request. And I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, this is the newest. It's, you know, it's an unbelievable white gold. It's beautiful blue ombre dial. Beautiful. And I don't care what those people, what prices they have. I'm going to tell you my price. And my prices don't pay for that watch more than $106,000. All right? $106,000. $106,000. Our next watch is a Patek Philippe Salomon dial, World Time Chrono, unbelievable watch. The 5935, stainless steel, you know, flat back chrono, retail price $64,930. Ladies and gentlemen, this watch that I'm talking to you guys about is a brand new watch. New. 2025. New. Okay? Get it through your head. New. And don't pay for this watch. You do yourself a favor. And I tell you the retail price, $64,930. Don't pay for this watch. And I mean, don't pay for this watch more than $51,000. All right? Good. This is another watch that another subscriber asked me to please give him a price. And I will do that. I will do that. The next watch is a Rolex Yellow Gold Pikachu. You know, Pikachu. Pikachu. You know, Daytona. Oyster Flex. You know, Chrono. Reference number 116518. Retail price $31,500. Don't pay for that watch, and you do whatever you want. No matter what they tell you, you do whatever you want. But don't pay for that watch more than $37,000. Right? $37,000. For another organic watch channel subscriber, the Rolex Yellow Gold Tiffany Dial Daytona 40 millimeter. New one just released. Reference number 126518. Retail price $36,700. Don't pay for that watch and you do whatever you want. Blue dial. Don't pay for that watch. Don't pay for more than $96,000. 96. If you want to continue giving away your children's tuition money, go ahead. I don't care. To be honest, I don't care. I don't care. They're not like us. So since they're not like us, I don't care. We have rules in this channel. We have rules, not suggestions, but rules. Right? We have rules. You do whatever you want. Don't pay more than $96,000. Don't do it. Don't do it. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be talking about a watch. It's a heavy, heavy hitter watch. Heavy hitter. Heavy hitter watch. This is a Patek Philippe Nautilus stainless steel blue dial with a 42-millimeter casing with a moon face. Unbelievable. The 3712. Do you guys know what the 3712 is? You know what the 3712 is? 3712 is basically, then they took over with the 5712, you know? But this is a moon face, it's beautiful, it's bigger, it's unbelievable. And it was up there at one moment, it was untouchable, the price they have for this watch. It was untouchable. And I'm gonna tell you today, ladies and gentlemen, you do whatever you want, but don't pay for that 3712 stainless steel. Stainless steel, this is a grail. You wanna talk about a grail? This is a grail. Don't pay for this watch more than $132,000. You do whatever you want. All right, guys? Ladies and gentlemen, our next watch is a Patek Philippe stainless steel blue dial 5980. 5980. Unbelievable looking time machine. Unbelievable, you know? Unbelievable. With a 40-millimeter casing. Ladies and gentlemen, this watch has a retail price of $53,100. And I'm going to tell you, for your own health, don't pay for that watch, and I mean don't pay for that watch more than $77,000, all right? You do whatever you want. Our next watch is a watch that one of my subscribers asked me, please, can you give a watch market update on this watch? And I obliged, and I said, yes, I will give it to you. Because he wants to buy this watch. And this is a monster watch. This is a heavy, heavy hitter watch. We're talking about the Patek Philippe Rose Gold Nautilus 5712 with a 40-millimeter casing. This is a non-converted. To all of you that don't know what converted is, it's a 5712 that came with a leather strap and a buckle, you know, leather strap, and then they ordered the Patek Philippe bracelet from Patek. They sent it to them. They charged them $30,000 for the bracelet. 30, you heard that right, 30. You know what? Today it might be 34. How's that? It might be $34,000. And they send you that, and you convert it, the whole watch, the 5712, to a converted, you know, 5712. But in this case, this is not a converted. This was born like that in Geneva, you know? It was born just like that. And ladies and gentlemen, the retail price of that watch is $85,900. And sir, you do whatever you want with your money. You wanted to know the price of this watch, and I'm gonna give it to you. Don't pay for that watch, and I mean don't pay for that watch more than $172,000 and dropping, all right? You do whatever you want. Do whatever you want. Our next watch is an AP Royal Oak stainless steel 41-millimeter with a blue dial. Reference number of this watch is a 26331 from 2018, you know? And that year, 2018, we had that Corona beer era, and that watch was up there $120,000. That watch right there that I'm talking about right now, that Chrono 26331, And I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, you do whatever you want. The retail price of that watch is $36,100 plus your taxes at the time. And I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, you do whatever you want, but don't pay for that watch more than $36,000. All right? It's what it is. It's what it is. You can continue believing what they're telling you. Remember, it's them against me. It's just me against thousands of them. I hurt their feelings every day. With this show that I did today talking about Rolex got caught, got caught restoring vintage fake watches. This is big. This is big. This is big. What I did today, mark my word, is something special for you people out there, for the ones that like to buy from the Rolex CPO program. I did something big for you people today. And what do I get for that? Ladies and gentlemen, our next watch is an unbelievable watch. It's the Vacheron Constantin Overseas White Gold with a 41.5 millimeter casing. Unbelievable watch. The 4300 open work, skeletonized, blue dial, calendar, moon face. This is a watch. This watch. I feel ashamed telling you what these hucksters and hoodwinks charge you guys so they can continue living that fast lane life, in their red gold fast car, with their ripped jeans, their Louis Vuitton Nike sneakers, their Montclair sweaters, their Supreme hoodies, sushi dinners, like the gentleman that will sell the steak dinners for $17,000 with the white t-shirt, sunglasses, beautiful, tan, and he would charge you $17,000, and they would put a bone in your mouth and pull it back out and back in and out, and you would pay $17,000. Well, I got news for you guys. The guy, they threw the salt all over the place. That guy's in bankruptcy, and he got all of you guys taken out there. That's right. Because you guys like that. That's what you guys like. Ese es el monumento a la vida, Remember, being lied to is a fad, It's a style. It's accepted by high-end circles. When I lied, when I was a kid, I remember, man, the eye my father would give me from the other side of the room was scarier than getting hit. My father from far away knew that I lied. He would just look at me. And today, it's nothing big. It's a beautiful thing to be lied to, Like you guys are all being lied to until I came around to tell you all this. But today, you know how it is. You went over there to that guy and threw the salt like that. He put a bone in your mouth. He cut the meat for you, and there it is. That's how it is, That's how it is. Anyway, going back to that Vacheron Constantin Overseas, which is white gold, beautiful. I told you everything it has. This is a watch that in that Corona era, ladies and gentlemen, it was disgusting. $350,000, $325,000, $275,000. People pushing from their Bentley, people pushing from their Ferrari, from their Porsche, just giving it away, blah, 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 giving it away, giving it away. This is an unbelievable watch. And I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, do yourself a favor. And this watch right here is practically brand new. Don't pay for this watch, and you do whatever you want. Under what it is. This is under full set. Don't pay for that watch more than $117,000 and dropping. All right, guys? There it is. And my last watch of the day, it is the Patek Philippe. The Patek Philippe Aquanaut. Unbelievable. White gold, 5164. Beautiful watch, with the beautiful blue strap, blue dial. It's an unbelievable watch. Unbelievable. With a 40.8 casing. You do whatever you want. You pay whatever you want, but don't pay for that watch more than $119,000 in dropping. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you guys to know something before I let you guys know. Go. Nobody's buying watches. It's an illusion. You know, you seen that guy, Uncle Johnny? You know Uncle Johnny, the guy from 47th Street? You know, Uncle Johnny, he looks like Eddie Monster, you know, from the Monsters. You know, he's a little overweight guy. They call him Uncle Johnny. You know, and he's walking around with a big attaché luggage with hundreds and thousands of watches. Nobody's buying watches, Papi. You understand me? It's the reverse. When they do that, nobody's buying watches. 2,000 watch pieces and a Samsonite luggage, you know, going to the, you know, to the Vegas show. And nobody's buying watches, Papi. Nobody. Nobody. They're trying to hype it among themselves. You buy it from me, I buy it from you. You buy it from me, I buy it from you. Like that. That's all. It's all a sketch. It's all a sketch. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I really hope you learned something from this Watch Market Update show. You learned something about what's happening with Rolex. You learned something with the Watch Market Update. Don't forget, you know, to share, this video today. People need to see this video. People need to see this video. What I said today was something unbelievable for you people. That's all I got to say. Don't forget, we have a private watch group under my name, Juan Nieves. It's on Facebook. Go to About, hope it's in time, and maybe we'll let you in. Right, guys? Anyway, guys, like I say always, take care and brush your hair.